Arizona didn't only mine asbestos. Digging up and selling rocks is big business in the Grand Canyon state. Arizona is still the largest copper-producing state in the U.S., and by many counts, Arizona boasts the most profitable mineral mining industry in the nation. Arizona is also famous for gold mining. After all, that's the home of the fabled Lost Dutchman mine. But 100 years ago, a group of miners were searching for what some called white gold, the nickname for the type of asbestos known as chrysotile. Next up, part 2 of this episode of Asbestos Artifacts, Chrysotile, Arizona. Arizona happens to be a kind of anvil of geological activity, producing minerals of all kinds. And the oldest existing settlement in the area, a village called Beshbegawa, inhabited by the native Salado people 800 years ago, was known to the Apaches as the place of metal. Copper and turquoise jewelry from the area functioned as a kind of portable wealth and was traded all over North America. The Spanish colonists had small gold and silver mines, but in the 1800s, the discovery of silver and copper brought many more people to Gila County and to the mining camp of Globe, Arizona. As Nucky's book tells us, asbestos deposits in Gila County were first found by two cowboy prospectors named Albert and William West, who weren't really sure what they should do with it. But in short order, an asbestos company purchased the land, and a few years later, JM bought it and significantly expanded the operations, eventually adding electricity, paving roads, and getting in writing that JM had 2 seats on the city council, one occupied by, you guessed it, Mr. C.H. Shoemaker. Now, Shoemaker was the guy who ran Johns Manville Mines and Mills in Asbestos, Canada. When he purchased the land in Arizona, he made the decision to name the town Chrysotile. For industry, different lengths of asbestos fibers are better for different products. In fact, asbestos fibers were graded by length. The longer the fiber, the more expensive it was. So it was a lot of people's jobs to mill and sort the asbestos. In fact, many studies show that the cobbing jobs were more dangerous from an asbestos disease perspective than being down in a mine and digging asbestos out. Cobbing is where you'd take the rock and you'd chip it away to get the actual asbestos out. Nucky describes these processes at JM, and at no point is there any suggestion of the long-term danger they were all in from breathing large amounts of asbestos dust. Asbestos is most dangerous when broken up into fibers known as friable asbestos. That's because it can easily become airborne and inhaled or swallowed. Chrysotile fibers can range from inches long to microscopic and can wreak damage throughout the body, including tearing open white blood cells. This can lead to a number of diseases, including cancer. In fairness, in the 1920s, even Johns Manville didn't know that asbestos could cause cancer, but they did know it was making their workers sick with the breathing disease known as asbestosis. As a policy, JM would shuffle workers around but not tell them it was asbestos that was making them sick, because JM was afraid of workers' compensation claims and they were afraid of lawsuits. This isn't my opinion, that's what their memorandums say. We have a lot of videos about them on our website and this YouTube channel. In fact, the British had been mining asbestos for far longer than JM, and their doctors insisted that asbestos simply was not safe to breathe. By the 1930s, even JM's own scientists' research reports were telling them that asbestos might cause cancer. So they told the scientists to delete those lines from their reports. The company denied the harmful nature of asbestos right up until the 1970s, and in a way they kind of denied it with their dying breath as they went bankrupt from the lawsuits filed against them. The JM mine in Chrysotile was not even close to being JM's largest. That was the Jeffrey mine in Canada. But the JM mine in Chrysotile produced the many tons of asbestos built into the Hoover Dam. Hoover Dam was built to control and generate power from the Colorado River and is set on the common state boundary of Nevada and Arizona. This engineering feat was higher than any dam in history at the time, holding the equivalent of Niagara Falls behind a wall of concrete that's more than 200 yards thick. Hoover Dam also features a hydroelectric power station that provides billions of watts of power every year to Nevada, Arizona, and California. Now, power stations produce enormous amounts of heat and electrical charges, and because of its resistance to both elements, asbestos insulation was used throughout their construction. And by and large, the asbestos in the Hoover Dam came from Chrysotile. In all, this area produced over 75,000 tons of commercial asbestos before the mines were closed in 1945. On part 3 of this asbestos artifacts, we'll see that while Chrysotile, Arizona has become a ghost town, its asbestos ghosts are still haunting Arizona.